Subtle skills, big results.
Welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Ninja Selling Podcast. Garrett is he, and me is Matt. And we're here for another fantastic episode with you guys. We have fun with these intros, as you guys know. And so if you are brand new to this podcast, welcome. We are kind of goofy and we play around like that before. But if you are curious about what ninja selling is, head over to ninjaselling.com. You can learn about the trainings and you can learn about coaching, where Garrett and I spend most of our time. Just at the top, there is a coaching button. You can click that. You can go to that page. You can learn more. You can connect with us or one of the incredible coaches that I have the pleasure to call my colleagues. So you can do that. And also, please do join our community over on Facebook. Search for the Ninja Selling Podcast. You'll find it there. Let's dive into today's topic, Garrett, which is fun because we get to talk about time and money. Two great topics that we absolutely love and get circulated around or talked about a whole lot, but particularly also in real estate. So good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. I know I'm looking forward to going down this kind of rabbit hole with you today of time and money. And I think that time and money gets confused a lot about what's more valuable. And we find as people are putting together their value propositions and things like that, articulating their value, it's amazing to me how often, Matt, time is left out of the equation.
Majority. I mean, it's overwhelmingly left out.
I would say it's almost always left out, is this time savings. And Larry said it to me years ago. He said, you know, we're in a time and an age in our world that time is more valuable than money. We have more money than we have time for most people. A lot of the people that we're working with, when it comes down to people that are buying homes and things like that and selling houses, for most of them, they have more money than they have time. We're fighting for time all the time. That's good.
It's like a paradox.
But in that situation, it's funny, as we start to explain our value, we leave time off the table all the time, Matt. And why do we do that? I'm just curious if you have a thought into like why that is never addressed.
I think part of it is we feel the need to put something tangible down, something that can be understood whether we have the opportunity to explain it or not, which is why, you know, particularly on the listing side, we see a lot of people say, hey, you know, my services, which is why I charge more for these, because I do photography, I do staging, I do these things. It's like, great, anybody can do those things. It's like, but what is the value of your time in doing these things, which I think time also correlates very, very closely with your knowledge and expertise as well. Because the better you are at something, arguably the less time it's going to take you to perform said tasks. Does that mean that you should get paid less than somebody who doesn't have the knowledge but takes more time? Right. So this is where it's like, okay, clearly time and money are not correlated.
Yep.
It all comes down to the value that you deliver, and understanding that is an understanding of how you are showing up. What is the value of you? Because I always tell agents this, I said, whenever you're trying to break down your commission structure to maybe if you have an agent that has a tiered system, which many agents do have kind of like their menu of offerings, your time is the most valuable part of that. So if you're not accounting for your time in your commission, then you're going to be left with just performing tasks that probably anybody could do, and you're going to devalue yourself against the competition.
Well, this goes back to one of my sayings, again, relating to my dad again, which is there's no correlation between how hard you work and how much money you make. And I think that a lot of times we get kind of in this trap. So I love that you're going down this route, Matt, of like, look, think about a contract. You take a new agent and how long it takes them to write their first purchase agreement. You could very easily go like, man, like we got to pay them a lot because they spent a lot of time analyzing that contract and making sure everything was right in there and the dates were right and all the boxes were checked in the right spot. And then you take a really experienced agent and they will sit there and whip out a purchase agreement in no time at all and be like, is this what we were just talking about? Like, oh, here, sign here. Like, we're good to go. That's an offer. Let's get this thing across the table. It's incredible when you have somebody, you know, we're talking about one little piece of this, but it's like, it's amazing when you watch somebody who knows what they're doing. I remember Win Washley had the group who took the time to literally know the purchase agreement so well that he could handwrite it out if he wanted to. Like, now, obviously, that would take a lot of time to handwrite a purchase agreement. So I'm not saying everybody needs to do that. But you talk about experts in your field. The reason he did that is so that if any part of that contract came up that he needed to explain or help somebody understand, he knew it. He knew it inside and out. He could quickly move through that thing, be able to say, okay, this is why that's written in there. This is what it does for you and how it protects you. And they can move along. And that level of expertise is what people pay for. So you can move quickly, you can get time back. And where I go back to is in our world today, we have more money than we have time. People are fighting to get time back. In my life, I can look at my own personal world, and there's many, many, many days that I get done with the day going, I wish I just had more time. I wish I had more time to give to this. I wish I had more time to work on this project, more time to invest into this thing that I want to learn more about. And at the end of the day, you're just tired. And you're like, I'm done. I'm out. Like, that's what I got. That's what I was able to give today. And this is the value of being able to say, okay, what if I had trusted people in my world that I could have take care of this stuff that would give me more time to go take care of these things? And when you look at something like real estate in general, it's very easy to go, okay, I can take on this job as a homeowner. I can take on this job. I can do this. We can sell our own house. We can do for sale by owner. Let's have at this thing. I can do this. It seems easy enough. The understanding of the amount of time for somebody who's not skilled, doesn't do this all the time, let's not talk about all the professional photography and all the stuff that we're going to do and staging and whatnot. Let's just talk about the time it takes for somebody to research what forms do we need? How do we need to be approaching this? What are all the things we need to do? How are we going to work out showings? Like, how do we do that? But who's going to take time away from work to be here at the house? All of a sudden you start looking at all these elements of it and you're like, hours and hours and hours, just like that brand new agent trying to write their first purchase agreement. That's every single person that's going to try to do real estate on their own because they feel like they can save a buck. It doesn't take very long to go, this is not worth my time. This is not worth all this that I'm trying to do. What am I really trying to accomplish? And this is why we have professionals that we can count on. We need to understand that as the people that are providing the value and are showcasing what it is that we offer. I think we need to get really skilled at showing people how we're going to give time back so that they can go live their life, do the things they love, focus on the things that are important to them. Like, this is what we're missing the opportunity here in front of us.
Yeah. Well, it's such a good point there, bringing in the client's time, right? Because when you do a net proceeds sheet with a seller, there's no line item on there for time, right? So they're looking at potential sales price and all these things that are going to come out and your commission that's coming out. And we need to bring back in time, right? Which is where in the Ninja process, we talk about sitting down with the calendar and also like starting with, well, where do they want to go and when do they want to be there? Let's focus on that first, right? Because time is a big factor in this element for home sellers and buyers for that matter as well. And they may not levy or share the weight of that importance to them, but through conversation, we can certainly figure it out so that we can understand to showcase, hey, here's the value I'm going to bring to you in terms of how much time we're going to save you. I mean, imagine if you could snap your fingers and your house is ready to sell.
You brought the calendar, and I was just thinking it's one of the reasons I love flow charts in buyer's packets, listing presentations, pre-listing packets, kind of that flow chart of like, here we are on this roadmap. We're right here, right now. Here are all the pieces that are going to happen as we work through this together. And here's the final outcome. Your house is sold. You guys have moved on to your new place. That visual of getting to see it all, one is it does a lot of things. One is it allows people to go, wow, look at all the stuff this person's going to do. All these items, these things are going to do that means that this is what I'm paying for. They're going to see that side of it. The other side of it is like, man, they have a lot of stuff that they're going to be doing here. The amount of time and energy that they're going to invest into my home being sold, what I'm about to do. This is all the stuff I don't have to do. This is what I'm hiring them for. And it's going to give me all my time back that I'm not going to have to worry about this stuff. It's why I like those things so much, is because it showcases this place of time being spent that I'm not going to have to spend.
It creates clarity around time, right? I mean, looking at an Uber versus a taxi, right? It's the clarity of time that you get. I mean, let's say a taxi, if you call a taxi, like pick up a phone, dial the taxi cab number, hey, I need to pick up here and go here, versus ordering an Uber. Let's say it takes the same amount of time. That clarity of time from Uber, because you get to see the driver. Oh, he's over there. Oh, he's driving over here. Oh, why did he go that way? Oh, now he's turning around. I see him coming down this way. There's the clarity of knowing, hey, he's on his way. And there's even a predictive time of when I'm going to get to my destination. Whereas with the taxi cab, it's like, I think he's on the way. I called them. They said the driver is on his way. Don't know when he's going to be here. And then he gets in the car and you're like, I think I have an idea of how long it's going to take to get there. I'm not really sure what route we're going to go, but I'm sure I'm going to get to my destination at some point.
So you just experienced this with a tow truck, and we were joking about it because we were trying to actually record a podcast. And Matt's like, all right, here's the wild card right now. There's a tow truck that's on its way. And I have this predictive thing here that says it could be anywhere between 15 minutes to, I think it was 45 minutes. Like this was the window it gave you.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, we could record, but let's not record. Let's wait for a second and we'll see what, like if this thing shows up and then we'll figure out what it is. And I think we waited for like about a half an hour and all of a sudden it updated the times again to push the...
Well, I called them finally to say, hey, where are we at? And they're like, oh, yeah. And then all of a sudden it got updated to like, now it's another 45 minutes.
Exactly. And so the beauty side of like something like Uber is that one, they've created a situation that's super crystal clear. And I mean, all of us, for the most part, use Uber. I think anybody listening to this right now has at some point ordered an Uber. And there's a beauty side of, I know Sarah and I were getting ready to go somewhere here a while back. And it was like, okay, let's order an Uber to go. This is over a year ago now because I haven't been drinking. So I was like, oh yeah, I haven't ordered an Uber for that reason in a long time. Being responsible, everybody. But it was interesting because I remember sitting with Sarah and earlier, about an hour before, checking Uber to go, what is the availability of Ubers? Oh, we can have an Uber here in 5 minutes. Let's hold off a little bit. We don't need one that fast. And we kind of wait a little bit. I check in a little bit later. And, because you're right. Back in the day when you'd order a taxi cab, you're on the phone. You didn't know there's this kind of big, wide, space here. You wonder why Uber's done so well. They've made it really easy for me to, instead of waiting, because when you're waiting, you're not officially using time because any moment in time, that thing could show up and now all of a sudden we got to go. But all of a sudden, when I know I've got 15 minutes until that Uber arrives and it's clear, I can see it on the map. Guess what?
You just got time back.
15 minutes, I can go do something.
Such a good point.
I can go take care of something else. I'm like, I got a time to make a phone call. I got time to go run and do this. We can take care of throwing in a load of laundry. I can pull laundry out and fold it. I can load the dishwasher. Like I've got things I can now take care of in my life because I'm not waiting.
This is such a great point. I didn't even think about that. And let's take it up one notch too, right? Yeah, so I live in a place in Charleston where if you want to get somewhere early in the morning, like the airport, you probably can't rely on Uber. Like maybe not. And so this is where, when I've needed to go to the airport, this is before we had two cars, is I would set up a car service. I would go online or call and say, hey, I need a car here. And now this was expensive to get to the airport. We're talking like $100 to go 20 minutes to the airport. Right.
Yep.
Which seems crazy when I can get there with a $25 Uber ride. However, at 5 a.m, I don't know if I can get an Uber to my house. And so I could chance it and then end up really having a big problem with my time, like missing a flight, or I can have 100% confidence that precisely at 5 a.m., there is going to be a professional driver outside of my door with a very nice, clean car that I can get in and sit in comfortably and get to the airport. And you know what? When you call a car service, they're usually there early too. They're sitting there. They're waiting for you. And then you come out the door. They open the door for you. It's really nice. And it's not like you're getting in any fancy cars or anything. Sometimes you are. But that's where that costs a lot more than an Uber or a taxi. But the level of certainty of my time that I have with that is incredible. And it is well worth it for me to spend that money to have that certainty of my time so that I can make my flight.
So let's continue down this, taking a step further, because let's just go off sleep the night before or that night. There are times when there is that I really hope my ride's going to be there in the morning, that I have been up all night long going, is it time to get up? God, I hope they're going to be there. Do I have an update on my phone? Have I gotten a text saying, hey, they're confirmed this? Like, because I just don't have that certainty that it's going to happen, which is a really horrible use of my time. I've done that with Uber. I remember the first time that I scheduled an Uber in advance.
Ooh, yeah, because you can do that now.
I actually did it in Charleston is where I did it. The night before I went on and
still can't do that here on John's Island though.
So I pre-booked an Uber, and every bit of me was like, really hope it's going to show up. Really hope it's going to show up, because I didn't have the trust and confidence in it yet. And all of a sudden, now I walked down, car pulled up. Yeah, I'm here for you, Garrett. And I was like, perfect. This is awesome. When you book something like you're talking about, and I've done that too, there's a peaceful night of sleep that happens. You know for a fact that car is going to show up. You know exactly what to expect. It is just this, like, the question is off the plate, and guess who sleeps like a baby? And so you get this not only time back, but quality time back in your life. And I think that needs to be understood also, is it's not just giving you time back, which is super valuable, but quality time back in your world. You can put this into anything. A mechanic, yes, could I save money ordering the parts online and doing it myself in my driveway? Believe me, I know, because I do it all the time. But there's other situations that it's like, you know what? I don't have the time to do it. I don't have the energy to do it right now. And there's a mechanic right down the road. And it's funny, I can drop that car off and have it back by tomorrow, and it's all fixed and it's all done. Is it way more expensive than what it costs for me to do it myself? 100%. Was it worth it? All day long.
Or maybe you don't have the knowledge to do it, right?
I have the knowledge.
You have the knowledge for certain things.
Just kidding.
But there are certain things when we've been talking about the project you've been on, there's like, hey, I don't know how to do this. I need to go to somebody who's a true expert in this.
Yep.
And I think when it comes to real estate, we itemize all of these things, all of the things that we do, but we forget to highlight the two most important things, which is your knowledge and time. Time, not only that you're serving, but the time that you're going to save the client, the certainty you're going to give the client, which is going to save them time from being in an anxious state, right? We can't guarantee when a house is going to sell necessarily, unless you're putting one of those home sale guarantees on there and you're going to buy the house from them. But that's a whole other conversation. I just didn't want somebody saying like, well, I can guarantee it.
Worms.
Right? But you can provide certainty. You can showcase your knowledge. And this is where a lot of the relationship building that happens before you get to the opportunity of having a listing consultation or buyer consultation provides you with tremendous backing in terms of showcasing your value of knowledge and time, because people have experienced your knowledge and your expertise. And so they already know what they want to get from you, which is their knowledge. They already know where they lack in terms of their time or expertise, which is why they're bringing you on. And so if you want to showcase your value proposition, start now with all your people in terms of how you build that relationship, how you share knowledge, and how you educate your sphere through your auto flow and things like that too. Right? Because that knowledge component, when it comes time for someone to make a decision, that's going to determine a lot about what they pay you, not because you do staging.
Staging's nice.
It's awesome.
But
it's great. I mean, if the other agent doesn't do it, maybe that is the thing that puts you over the top. But
if you look at the levels of business that we get to watch people go to, Matt, the ones where the clients are clamoring to find if Matt Benelli will take them on, can we get Matt to list our house? Can we get Matt to help us? I know Matt's really busy. He's got a lot of stuff going on, but man, that's the guy we want. That's a clear understanding of knowledge and time. They realize the benefit of it's not staging, by the way, at that point in time. They're not going, man, Matt has an incredible staging. You should see the homes that he stages. Oh my gosh. Like, well, I guess what? You're hiring a staging company. Most agents can go and have that done. What it really comes down to is that they understand your knowledge and they understand that they're not going to have to worry about this. And that's why we want Matt Benelli in their corner. And if you can help people see that, there's two ways that I think you can help people see it. One is that we need to get the messaging from our clients that have done business with us in the past. And I think that we can actually help our clients who are going to write testimonials or give us feedback. You can easily guide them a little bit on what's the most important message that they can share if they're getting a chance to share it. So, one of the things that the people that are hiring me, one of the things they need to understand is how I helped save you time and how my knowledge helped you, feel comfortable and whatnot. And I'd love to hear what you have to say about that. You don't have to tell them, I need you to say these words, but you can definitely prompt them of the direction that you want a testimonial to go. And with that, let them then go and see what they come up with. And a lot of times they will showcase exactly what needs to be said. And now we have a testimonial that when we share it out there with people, they're going, oh my goodness, like that's what I need. And the other part, Matt, is that when we are presenting ourselves, that we're bringing this piece into it. So those two areas, we have the messaging that's going out, whether that's testimonials from our clients, marketing that's going out. But then the other part is that when we're actually face to face with the client, addressing what the real situation is at hand, that they're going to really, I would say it's what they're really paying money for.
Oh, that's such a great point. Combine those two things together. The absolute best testimonial you can have is someone who talks about the time that they saved or the knowledge that you brought to the table. Way better than, oh, my agent was always available for us, which is probably one of the worst testimonials they can get because it's basically saying you're fully on demand. Great, lovely sentiments, by the way. But if someone's like, man, I love Garrett because he just always answers his phone every time of day when I call him, like, oh man, you're setting yourself up for everybody doing that. But testimony is leaning on time and knowledge. And then when you're in those consultations and people are asking you questions like, well, what's going to differentiate you from the next realtor? It's like, hey, listen, I can't tell you exactly the knowledge and expertise of that next realtor, but I can tell you with certainty that I am going to bring my absolute best to this transaction to help you guys save time and help you guys save money and increase your net profit, but also bringing my full knowledge and expertise so that you have comfort in knowing that everything is handled.
And here's the cool thing. When you approach it as a ninja, here's the fun part, is it's not just the real estate transaction itself. If you're doing this right, you have taken the time to get to know all the things that are important around them. You get to know that they have kids. You get to know that they have other hobbies. They have things that they like to go do, travel that they like to go do, whatever it might be. And the fun part is you take your presentation, and as you're talking about time, you get to whittle that back to, you get to be at your daughter's volleyball game. I know that's a huge part of what you guys got coming up through this season right now. And I want you to be there fully and not have to worry about this. When all of a sudden, and we had one of our coaches bring this up the other day, of the spouse that had already moved, there was a trailing spouse still living behind so that they could have the child finish out school. And again, when you realize what's important to both parties, the spouse that's already moved, that's worried about their loved one that's back maintaining the house, and a child that they're looking over, you get to tailor what you're doing and the messaging that you're doing to make them really understand that you get their situation, you get their life. And you're going to allow this, the comfort, the knowledge, everything here so that they can make the most of the time that they have and live the best life that they can have. It's a huge picture. It's not just saying, here's who I am, here's what I do, here's my things, here's how I'm going to save you time. If you can do this in the way that is about as ninja as you can possibly get, figure out who they are, and then show them how your services and your knowledge and your expertise is going to emphasize this life that they have. It's really hard not to say, you're the person I want to move forward with. We're going to go with some other agent over here that's going to, maybe do it for less. Because I guarantee you, we're watching it right now, Matt, the buyer's process. I keep telling ninjas out there, you guys are so perfectly set up for this world that we're entering into right now, because I can look at most realtors out there and they don't have a process of how they're starting to work with buyers. They have no way of setting the stage. They have no idea who their people are. Their whole thing that they've been taught for years is get them in the car and go out and show them homes. That isn't going to work very well in this new world that we're coming into.
Very true.
So it's like, we get this chance to know who they are, figure out who they are, and then we can figure out how we're going to save them time and emphasize the things that are important to them. Amazing time right now. I'm really excited about this changes in the industry and how we're going to change how we show our value and explain to people, help people understand what we're really doing for them.
I love it, man. So the value of your time and knowledge is way more than the value of the money. So, I mean, the itemizations, you can do that. There is certainly a time and place for that, but focus on if you really want to deliver value and think about your own value and where this might apply in other parts of your life as well. Think about your time and your knowledge and expertise and compare that with the other people who are around you. That's going to be the true value that you're able to deliver and receive on your end, more so than just dollars and cents.
Yep. And again, as I loved how you said, is like even in your own life, because there's all these activities that you can step back and say, should I hire somebody or should I do it myself? And it's funny is I think that if you have the time to do it yourself, man, you might learn something. There might be a piece there that's valuable to you to do that. The other side of it is I could hire it out and have somebody do it for me. But I will say is that if you're going to hire it out and have somebody do it for you and you're going to spend time, make sure you're using the time wisely for your own personal self. If you're getting time back, use it wisely. Don't just spend money just to have somebody do it for you. And I hope that makes sense, because in my mind, that's how I always look at every project around me. If I'm going to bother to pay somebody to do it, hopefully I'm using the time wisely that I've been given back instead of maybe just sit on the couch.
Which could be just chilling too, if you need that break.
I don't know how to chill very well. Maybe I need to learn how to chill a little bit.
Whatever version of chilling is, right? Like if you could pay somebody to clean your house so you can spend more time working on your car.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You sold me, Matt. All right, I got it.
That's worth it.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. Hopefully you got some great tidbits today out of our episode, and we appreciate you all. If you want to learn more about Ninja Selling, go to ninjaselling.com. If you want to check out the coaching program and learn from all of our coaches, we have an amazing group of coaches that are here to help you along your path with Ninja. And with that being said, if you want to, again, learn from a group of people that are like-minded individuals like yourself, go to the Facebook community, the Ninja Selling Podcast community. I mean, we're quickly approaching 16,000 people in there, Matt.
Cruising.
Amazing group of supportive, awesome ninjas. So appreciate all of you who are in there. And Matt, appreciate you, man. Always enjoy my time. You guys think this is the only time that Matt and I talk. We talk all the time. So it's fun to be able to document some of these conversations, share some of our thoughts with everybody. So appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you too, my friend.
All right.
Have a great one, everybody.
If you enjoyed today's episode and would like more, visit us at theninjasellingpodcast.com.
There you will also find links for more information about ninja selling and coaching. Have an incredible day.